Are you aware of any of the Attorney General's opinions that directly address this specific topic? Do you feel that you and the Harrison School District Board of Education have adequately investigated the transfer of 90 days of sick leave by Dr. Jerry Moody from the Texarkana School District to the Harrison School District? Has any mention of this topic been made to any law enforcement agency or to the Arkansas Department of Education? If so, what have the comments from those agencies, what were they related to this topic? Do you feel that the former superintendent was at fault in any way for authorizing the transfer of 90 days of sick leave from the Texarkana School District to the Harrison School District sick leave account when he became employed? That was July 1st, 2001, I believe. Do you believe that sick leave issue has been adequately investigated by you and the board? And if not, why not? In your opinion, what should be done henceforth concerning this issue? That's the end of my question. Is that the end of your answers? Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Betty Gedden. I have 2 statements and 7 questions to present to the board. The minutes of the January 30, 2001 special meeting of the Texarkana School District State and Park. The board accepted the resignation of Jerry L. Moody, superintendent, effective June 30, 2001, with the last day to work to be June 15, 2001, receiving full salary for 2001. On that date was 30,000 of accumulated vacation days, personal business days, and unused sick leave days. Second statement. The January 31, 2001 issue of the Texarkana Gazette contained an article which stated in part, the school board approved a compensation package of $30,000 for the remaining sick days, vacation days, and personal days on Dr. Moody's contract, which expires in 3 years. It has been documented that even though Dr. Moody was paid $30,000 for accumulated vacation days, personal business days, and unused sick leave, the Texarkana School District had no written policy for allowing for the payment of accumulated vacation days and personal business days. There is evidence also that even though the Texarkana School District paid Dr. Moody for unused sick leave days, a letter was sent to the office of the superintendent of the Harrison School District dated June 18, 2001 from Mr. Russell Savall, Deputy Superintendent, stating that Dr. Moody had accumulated 103 days of sick leave with the Texarkana, Arkansas School District. Evidence exists that only 90 days of the aforementioned 103 days of sick leave were transferred to Dr. Moody's sick leave account with the Harrison School District on August 7, 2001. Arkansas Code annotated 6/17/1206 states in part, whenever an employee of a school district, an education service cooperative, a state education agency, or a 2-year college in this state shall leave the school district, education service cooperative, state education agency, and 2-year 2-year college and accept employment in another school district in this state, education service cooperative, state education agency, or 2-year college, the employee shall be granted credit by the new school district, education service cooperative, state education agency, or 2-year college for any unused sick leave accumulated by the employee while employed by the former school district, but not to exceed a maximum of 90 days. The accumulated and unused sick leave credit shall be granted to the employee upon furnishing proof in writing from the school district of former employment of the employee. I've been asked to ask specific questions to Dr. Moss. First question. The Arkansas statute 617-1206, which I have just read, mentions unused sick leave accumulated by the employee. Dr. Moss, do you believe that the 90 days of sick leave transferred by Dr. Jerry Moody to the Harrison School District were unused sick leave days, given the fact that Dr. Moody had been paid for these sick leave days by the Texarkana School District? Second question. Do you believe that any staff member being employed by the Harrison School District should be allowed to transfer sick leave days into the Harrison School District if he or she has been paid for those days? Question 3. What steps, if any, have you as superintendent taken to ensure that no individual in the future will be allowed to transfer sick leave days into his or her sick leave account with the Harrison School District after being paid for those days by another agency as mentioned in the state sick leave law 617-1206? Next question. Have you taken any steps to determine if other individuals now employed by the Harrison School District have been allowed to transfer sick leave days into the Harrison School District after having been paid for those sick days by another agency as mentioned in the state sick leave law 617-1206? Next question. Dr. Moss, do you know why petitioners were not allowed to speak about this topic when it was brought to the attention of the Board of Education and when it met in special session last January 31? Next question. Do you believe this topic is of such importance that it needs to be fully investigated by you and the Board of Education and the Office of the First Prosecuting Attorney? Last question. Why do you and Board Member Gwen Hoffman refuse to allow Dr. Bill Ray Lewis opportunities to address the Board about this topic on 3 separate occasions? Thank you for your attention and time.
We have 5 minutes.
Jerry Moody once wrote a letter email to Mindy. And in that email, Jerry Moody said, you can get by with just about anything you want to as long as no one complains. Folks, this issue is not going to go away. And I would say, Mindy, if you spend as much time, and maybe the board has spent as much time on investigating this as you've spent telephoning people, trying to find out if we've turned in some fictitious or copied signatures. I'm not very smart, but I'm smart enough not to forge signatures or copy signatures to hand in to people. For the record, and I want all of you to know this, and I want the public to know this, those signatures, basically most of them were garnered at the same time. There are people in this room that can testify in court, if we have to, that those signatures were signed by them. And anybody that's got one eye and a half sense will know that when you get one petition like this signed, the business way to do it, the way to save time and effort and money, is to get all the signatures that you can signed at the same time. That's what happened. And so that's a bunch of hooey, y'all. And by the way, under FOIA, I want a copy of your statement too. Mindy, I'll expect that in about 3 days. You've got to give that to me. This is a real bad lesson in democracy. This board meeting, I think, a real bad lesson in democracy. This is one of the reasons why people all across this country are very upset with governmental officials. Some governmental officials, not all of them. But I don't understand why Mindy hasn't spent as much time, and maybe some of you as board members, to investigate this situation with Jerry Moody and the transfer of sick leave days. And Kathy, for the public record, I want to compliment you right here for only allowing those 90 days to be brought in. You had no direction, evidently, other than, I don't think there's any policy other than what was in the law, and I compliment you for that. I'm not upset with you at all. I'm upset with this board and this superintendent for what you all have allowed to happen without properly investigating. I see no documentation anywhere. If it's there, I'd like to see it, that this board, that this superintendent has investigated and looked into this situation. There is an Attorney General's opinion. Mindy, are you familiar with that relates to this specifically? You're not answering any questions. But tell the board, now or tonight or sometime, are you familiar with the Attorney General's opinion that we got that relates to this? If not, let me read it to you. And it's very obvious to me, for some reason, this board is wanting to shut this topic down. And folks, as you know, there's another topic that we're going to bring up. And Joe, it's very easy to find 50 signatures. I also find nothing in the law that says we have to have a date on those signatures. And I doubt that we will. So just get ready for that. There'll be some more special sessions called. But have any of you seen the Attorney General's opinion related to this topic? Mindy, have you seen it? Any board members seen it? Eric, you seen it? Joe, you seen it? Wardna, you seen it? Wynn, you seen it? John? I think it's very obvious that, as was mentioned a while ago, in the law, when a person has accumulated sick leave days, accumulated unused sick leave days, those days can be transferred. But when your former superintendent brought those days up here and sent the letter to the school district in care of the office of the superintendent, those days had already been paid for. John, those days should never have been allowed to come up here. And whether Jerry Moody knew that or not, I don't know. And now then, after the fact, Kathy really had no way of knowing. You all have not even allowed me to give you some recommendations, Karen, how I think this could be rectified in the future. You've shut us out. And this is why I think clear across this land, there are so many people upset with governmental officials because you will not let, many of you will not let the public have a say in what's going on. In essence, really, you all work for this public. They don't work for you. You work for them. And I worked at the public trough for 47 years, so I know what I'm talking about. Where do you know what I'm talking about? We don't work for you. You work for us, essentially. So why in the world have you not investigated and had a full hearing? I've made each one of you, board members, superintendent, assistant superintendent, certainly not here, I've made you a copy of all the documentation. So far you've refused to go through it with me and take a look at it. And Gwen, you even sent a petition back to us unopened. We've mentioned that before. I still have not found out the reason why. But I'm very, very disappointed in this board, very, very disappointed in this superintendent. You have not been open, I don't think. You have not been transparent, I don't think. You've not given us a good enough chance, a decent enough chance to investigate this and present this situation to you. That's really what we're asking, is for you all to prove to us that you properly investigated this, looked into the situation, and then take whatever action is needed. I'm sorry that you've taken this position, but as we've said, you all have not heard the last of us yet. Thank you.
We will adjourn this meeting. There's another one beginning immediately. Dr. Lewis, let me save you some time and the district.
Thank you, Joe. I
Some
appreciate
trouble.
that.
There's your copy,
Thank you,
David.
sir. Mindy, you do not have to send this to me now.
Meeting adjourned. We will reconvene with the regular board meeting in 3 minutes. I'll do that.
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah.
10 maybe.
At least